Good morning, children. Welcome to chapter first of second part, probability of first session. Today, of course, we will start with the theory part only of this chapter. But before we start theory, let us discuss what is the weightage of this chapter. Now, section A, MCQ, one question of 1 mark. Section B, one line answer, one question of 1 mark. Section D, that is short sums or theory, 2 questions of 3 marks, so total 6 marks. Section E, sums, 1 question only, that is of 4 marks. But here 1 question can be 2 marks, 2 questions also. Now, before we start theory part, one thing more which I like to share with you, that is about this chapter. Normally, whenever probability topic it is there, we feel that it's very difficult. Of course, it's not difficult. Surely, like till this chapter, whichever topics we did, in that we feel this type of sum, this is the formula, use that and solve. But in probability it is not like that. Here you have to think that which formula, how we solve this sum. So no need of cramming, but you have to understand it properly. If you understand, you can solve very easily, because calculations are minimum in this chapter. Very short sums, 2 marks, 3 marks, and hardly, if you know how to solve, 1 or max 2 minutes to solve one sum of this chapter. So total 12 marks are there, cash marks, but as I said, if you understand, then only you can solve. Now let us start the theory part of this chapter. Here I have written 3 different statements. Number 1, the sun rises in the east. Number 2, a ball taken from a bag containing all white balls is a black ball. And third is a coin is tossed. Now, which first statement, sun rises in the east. Now, this is certain event, certain experiment. We can never think that sun rises from the west or from any other. So, this is known as certain event. Second, that is a ball taken from a bag containing all white balls is a black ball. Is it possible that in bag white balls are there and which you are taking out from that is black ball? So this is known as impossible event, because this experiment cannot be there. White balls are there and which you take out from that, it is a black ball. While the third, that is a coin is tossed. Now we know very well that coin has got 2 sides, head and tail. Now coin is tossed, which side will be there? That is head comes or tail comes, that is uncertain. So this third which statement, that there uncertainty is there in this. We can't predict in advance that when we toss a coin, definitely head only occurs. Can be tail also, of course can be head also, but uncertainty is there. So this way, these 3 statements, that shows different things. Now in practical life, we come across many situations where the results are uncertain. So here the theory of probability is an attempt to measure the degree of uncertainty in the results of such experiments. Of course, here in this chapter, which type of examples or sums we will do in which such type of coin then six-faced dice which we use in playing Ludo, same way playing cards, like here bag, different color balls are there or flowers are there. Such kind of examples only we use in this, and we try to understand what is probability. Of course, this theory of probability that was originated from gambling. Yes, gambling. From this only, this probability, our different mathematicians like Fermat, James Bernoulli, Pascal, de Moivre, Bass, etc., they have given this important contribution in developing the theory of probability. Now, before we go for the meaning of probability or definition of probability, here we will, before that we start with a few definitions, few terms definition, which are very, very, very important from board point of view. Like the first, that is random experiment. This is very, very important. 2 marks along with meaning, characteristics. So try to understand, and it's very easy to understand also. Now first, meaning of this random experiment. An experiment which can result in any one of the various outcomes, but the outcome cannot be predicted correctly in advance, is known as a random experiment. Now, experiment like tossing a coin. Now, this is called an experiment. Six-faced dice when you throw. Now, this is called an experiment, which can result in any one of the various outcomes. Now, obviously, like one coin is tossed, possible outcomes are either head or tail. So, this result will be at a time one only, like when you toss a coin, either head or tail, any one will be on that. So, which can result in any one of the various outcomes. Outcomes are so many, like here 2, but when 6-faced dice, so numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, from 1 to 6 numbers are there. So these are various outcomes, but when you throw that dice, one number only, any number from 1 to 6 will be there on that. But the outcome cannot be predicted correctly in advance. Can we predict? Of course we can predict 1 to 6 number, any one number will be there. But number 3 only will be there, that we cannot predict it correctly in advance. Any other number can be there, 4, 1, 2. So we cannot predict it correctly in advance. That is known as random experiment. Like here example I have taken, drawing a card from a pack of 52 playing cards. Yes, playing cards. 52 playing cards are there, we know very well. Now one card is drawn from it. Now which card will be there? We cannot predict it correctly in advance. That is called random experiment. Now come to the characteristics. 3 characteristics. Number 1, the experiment can be repeated under the same conditions. Whichever conditions that we decide in advance, and same conditions that again and again experiment can be done. 1 time, 2 times, like one coin is tossed. So not necessary that once only. As many as times you can continue with that experiment, but under the same conditions. Number 2, all possible outcomes of the experiment can be described in advance. Now, this experiments, all possible outcomes that we can say in advance, like as just now we discussed. One coin is tossed, head or tail. So this we can predict, we can describe before we go with that experiment. We can describe what will be possible outcomes. And the last one is, the result of the experiment cannot be predicted correctly in advance. See, possible outcomes can be predicted, but result of the experiment, what will be? Number 3 only, number 5 only. that we cannot predict it correctly in advance. Chances are there that it can be, but not necessary that definitely that number 5 only will be there when you toss a dice. So this way, which characteristics of this random experiment, these 3, along with that meaning, very very important from board point of view. So this is an end of this session. See you in next session. Thank you.